Hi guys, something a little bit different here. I am actually going to review Velma. That's right, so I'm going to do it in a style that I usually do my Raw and SmackDown reviews. Usually I wouldn't do this type of thing. However, this is straight up the worst thing that I have ever seen in my entire life. Me having a dodgy Chinese, shitting myself relentlessly for 72 hours was better than actually watching this first episode. And I'm only doing the first episode. I don't know, if this video gets 2,000 views, then I'll do a second episode. But this is straight up the worst thing ever. So I actually hope this video doesn't get popular. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm gonna start off piece by piece. Oh boy, this is fucking awful. For the first 30 seconds completely bashes men. It also completely bashes origin stories. So the opening joke in the first 30 seconds is this is my origin story. And unlike brooding men where women are screaming they're crazy, it's not like that. That's the first joke in the first 30 seconds. A lot of these jokes are literally, I didn't laugh once. Full disclaimer, I didn't laugh once. I nearly cried at literally the original source material of Scooby-Doo. Which, by the way, right off the bat, thank God Scooby-Doo is not in this series. They've decided not to put the actual dog Scooby-Doo in this series. For very good reason. Because a lot of the things that we're going to get into is just ridiculous. The second joke is Fred is a sex fan. Because, that was in the original Scooby-Doo. Fred was a complete sex fan, whatever. Jesus. So, Velma, it starts off with, I think, Daphne in, this high school. And she's literally looking at two cockroaches having sex. That is literally the opening, visual of the show, is two cockroaches having sex. They then, try and make up for these bad jokes. By the way, you see this quite a lot in, terrible shows, which, by the way, I think the writer of this show is, called Mindy something. Literally, this show is her trying to be Velma. It's essentially her personality in Velma. And I'm going to get to why this doesn't work. But literally the first start of this show is literally a group of high school women, which is completely questionable on many fucking levels. They're completely naked, right? And they start doing these bad fourth wall jokes in the shower naked. Again, this is a Scooby-Doo show. So, just to give you some perspective, they're then fighting each other naked, and they're talking about, oh, remember, this is the part of the scene where, this is usually what happens in other shows. I hate it when shows do this. It's just fucking laziness. With Deadpool, it made sense because there was actually funny jokes in this. And by the way, this show tries so hard to be the Harley Quinn series, which is actually fucking good, that actually has amazing writing. This show has none of these things. There is not one good thing about this first episode. It is that awful. So anyway, Daphne fights a naked woman. She's completely nude, and then there's another girl that's naked, and they're fighting each other in the shower. Velma comes in with a hoodie, looking like a serial killer, because that's what Velma does. Velma, by the way, we're going to get into Velma's personality trait, because this is going to be a big chunk of why I hate this show. But Velma is tries to act like a serial killer, whatever. They then, I love the fact that everyone is that defends the show is well, if you don't like this show, you're racist, which I want to get to that in a second. This show is actually full-blown racist as well, by the way. To the point where I don't know how this is getting aired. And some people might say it's about, white people, whatever. The amount of, things that they say about Asian people, because Daphne's Asian in this, is just ridiculous. Like, it's just mind-blowing why SJWs are defending this show when it is actually more racist. Which, in my opinion, is just, like, that goes to show you, like, today's society only care about teams. But anyway, I digress. So Daphne fights a naked woman because that's what happens in Scooby-Doo. Right, so we're going to talk about Velma. Velma in this is not Velma. Velma, by the way, I actually liked. Okay? So I actually liked Velma in the original Scooby-Doo. Velma in the original series was sweet, kind, cares about people, generally cares about her friends, right? Generally cares for their well-being, is a genuinely nice person. This Velma is a fucking asshole. She has no redemption qualities whatsoever, to the point where I am actually rooting for the serial killer. When I'm watching this first episode, I am not supposed to be rooting for the serial killer. It's gotten to the point where I'm literally rooting for the bad person. In this show, Velma, it looks like the bad person. Like, not only emotionally, but the way and what she acts is just not what Velma in the original show looks like. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, Shaggy's black and, like, Velma's, like, is a different ethnicity. Fred is white. Velma's Asian. You know, a lot of people are more fixated on this. That's not that's the least of the problems of the show. Believe me, it is the least problems of the show. Believe me. It is terrible. It is awful. Like, the entire Scooby-Doo gang shit on each other when the actual point of Scooby-Doo is the gang pulling themselves together. Scooby-Doo as a show teaches children to work together as a team and to always be friends no matter what. This show completely shits on it. And look, I'm all well and good if they made some changes, like, for example, Wednesday, like the Addams Family show, they made changes. I fully support that. That's totally fine. People seem to forget that Nick Fury was originally white in originally in the comics, and they made Samuel Jackson Nick Fury. That works. If it's executed properly, no problem whatsoever. This is just, your woman Mindy has just essentially made an animated series. It didn't get passed. She pulled Scooby-Doo out of her hole and just threw it at us. This show is so far from Scooby-Doo. In fact, this show goes so far as to ridicule Scooby-Doo fans. We're only in the first 5 minutes of this episode, people. There's so many stereotypes, it's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, I ain't no SJW, but I love the fact that, like, some, not all, but some of the SJW community are defending this when it literally plays into stereotypes and is, in fact, in times racist to other ethnicities. So I love the fact that SJWs are defending this, but they don't know what they're actually defending. Anywho. Fred is a complete asshole in this. He's apparently some sex addict thing or whatever. He wants improvement of his father because that's what Fred is really like. Okay, this is the worst part. Velma's dad gets a maid pregnant and then takes pictures of it nude. Because that's what happens in Scooby-Doo, people. None of this is funny. Like, South Park are really good because they are, like, when they do crude humor, they have stuff to back it up. This is, like, something generated from, like, it's like a joke generated. I watched, like, what you call him, Moist, the guy, he does reviews and stuff. He perfectly sums it up. These jokes are literally generated from a website and just spitballed out. It's horrendous. as I said, the gang absolutely hate each other. Like, Shaggy is in love with Velma. Velma straight up laughs. Oh, by the way, Shaggy isn't called Shaggy. He's called Norville, and he's black, right? Which, alright, if you're gonna do that, fine. But they literally treat Norville like a piece of shit. Like, to the point where Velma literally points and laughs at him because he generally likes Velma. Like, I love the fact that Velma in this episode is, like, all about, oh, people don't care about me, but whenever someone shows her genuine affection, she immediately shits on them. Because that's funny! Yay! No, like, this is why our generation is so degenerate. It's horrendous. Shaggy also, or Norville, is a beta male. They talk about this quite a lot. Again, this looks like it was written by a 50-year-old who thinks this is what the current generation get on like. Also, as I said, they're trying so hard to be the Harley Quinn episode, and it just fails on so many levels. Yeah, so, like, towards near the end, Velma, like, dresses up, like, you know, like in Greece, where, like, the lady dresses up, and she goes, hey, stud, you know that? And it just doesn't work. Fred then proceeds to cut someone's leg off, because, again, that's what they do in Scooby-Doo. And then he sticks up for Velma, and then everyone applauds. Velma then laughs in Norville's face constantly in this first episode. And then Fred then talks about how he's hairless and that how he isn't getting improvement from his father. This is literally the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, and this is coming from someone who's watched WWE for many years. It is the most horrible, worst at first episode. And I really hope you don't fucking make me watch a second one, because I really don't want to. It is absolutely horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible on so many accounts. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I really hope you don't make me watch this again. This is General Jerry on the General Jerry channel, signing out. Royal Rumble review. I'm going to kick off the Royal Rumble shit starting from next week. We're going to do a lot of videos on the Royal Rumble. I'm actually going to review it as well after the Royal Rumble as well. So I'm actually going to be going, because apparently now WWE pay-per-views on a Saturday, which allows me to actually review this. Now I actually can watch WWE on my television, which is great news. I never really had that option before, because it is what it is. But yeah, General Jerry on the General Jerry channel. Sign it out. Subscribe if you want more, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, bye.